Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So according to Barry Jackson, the Heat are currently working on acquiring John Wall. So, yes, for the Instagram page, I'm using Trending NBA. I know some of you guys get kind of like angry when I use this page, but I did double check the sources and everything. And yes, according to Barry Jackson, this is something the Heat are looking into. So right here, we do have the report. It says a potential suitor has emerged for John Wall. If you guys can see that and everything. So yes, the Houston Rockets point guard John Wall has yet to play this season. Doesn't have any plans to either. With a trade serving as the most likely next step, there's at least one potential suitor for him. According to Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald, the Miami Heat would consider trading for Wall if certain conditions are met. The biggest of these conditions is that Wall's contract be bought out first. So, that right there, I mean, it wouldn't really require the Heat to trade for John Wall if his contract is being bought out, so I don't really know what that means exactly. The only thing I can consider is maybe they would buy out a majority of the contract, and the Miami Heat would say, take on maybe $10 million a season or something like that. I would say at this point in John Wall's career, I would say about $10 million a season would kind of be what I would personally pay him, assuming he would want to be part of the team, he's healthy and everything like that, right, man? So obviously it could be better than that, but yeah, we can only go off of the most recent events, right, man? So yes, it says, unfortunately for the Rockets, this may be a difficult hurdle to overcome. Adrian Woj reported just over a week ago that Wall is unlikely to give up his $44 million salary this year or his $47 million player option next year. And why would he? I mean, yes, I understand wanting to win a ring and everything like that. But also that's damn near $100 million. These basketball players, they only have so many years to really get these type of contracts, and they work their entire life to do so. So, I don't know, man. I don't think it's always fair that sports teams expect, the players to sacrifice, their paychecks and everything like that. Says, Woj also noted in his reporting that any team likely to trade for Wall would most likely insist that he declines his player option. So, yeah, I don't, no negotiation power there. John Wall's just not going to do that. Why would he, right, man? There's no plans for John Wall to play for the Rockets, and it's becoming increasingly likely that John Wall may not play anywhere in the NBA this season because of the cost of his contract. I mean, that's what he signed it, so I'm sure he's willing to live with that. Unfortunately, the Rockets are off to a very rough start. They have the NBA's worst record at 1-14 and will likely find wins hard to come by in 2022. Yeah, so for them, it's if John Wall plays or doesn't play, it's not going to make them a better team. The only thing they can really think of doing in this case is trying to but then again, you're giving up this large contract that you're not going to get assets back because you're asking teams to take it on. So for the Rockets, there is no rush whatsoever. They can just be we're not going to be great in the next 2 seasons anyway. We don't really need John Wall to play. We don't really need the cap space either. If anything, it's probably actually better because it's going to make us worse and therefore get better, lottery odds and everything like that, man. So that's kind of what I'm thinking was going on with this. But, yeah, so I did want to take a quick look here to see if he even makes sense to go to the Miami Heat. Right now, the Miami Heat are 10-5 on the NBA season. And, yeah, let's just kind of see what everybody's doing. Obviously, their big-time acquisition was, Kyle Lowry and everything, so they kind of already got a point guard. But, yeah, man, so looking over here, Jimmy Butler, 12 games, Tyler Hero, looking like 6th man of the year, obviously, Bam Adebayo. So you got Kyle Lowry at 13 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. I would say, with the exception of his 3-point shot, maybe his overall field goal percentage, you probably say you would expect a little bit more scoring out of Kyle Lowry, but also he's 35 now too, and there's other options on this team, and he's getting the 7 assists, so that's completely fine. But, as far as a backup goes, really backup in general, I know Tyler Hero has been taking on so many, it's kind of a combo guard for the team and everything, but, through the course of an 82-game season and everything, that's not something you want to heavily rely on. So, yeah, as far as the bench goes, I don't really think the Heat have the greatest bench outside of Tyler Hero, obviously. So you can kind of see where John Wall, they were able to, especially give him in a buyout, would be amazing. Have him not, maybe probably not as a star. I think Kyle Lowry would still start, but run him in the backcourt, Tyler Hero off the bench. All of a sudden you got the best backcourt, off the bench in the NBA, right, man? So I kind of like the idea of that. So yeah, John Wall, obviously hasn't played at all this season, but just get a small sample size what he was doing last year and everything. 21 points, 9 assists per game. That was as a starter, playing about 35 minutes. So, 32 games. I'm sorry, I was looking at 2019. My apologies. Yeah, so he was playing, about 32 minutes a game this season, or last season, I should say, for the Houston Rockets. And, yeah, the overall field goal efficiency, all the amount of shots he took and everything, not the greatest. But nobody's asking him to be this if he goes to the Miami Heat, right? So this is completely fine. If he could average maybe, 12 points, 6 assists, which I think he's more than capable of doing, get himself a steal out there a game too, that'd be a big time asset. But for the right price, because we're over here on Fanspo, let's go ahead and hit up the trade proposals. No, not the trade proposals. I'm sorry. Where's it at, man? Where we at? Draft team needs tools. There we go. Trade machine. Literally probably saw it the first time. I don't think there's a physically possible way for them to actually acquire him via a trade, because John Wall, $44 million, so ridiculous for this to happen. Do they even have any bitch ass contracts to trade? They don't. It's not possible doing it via trade without giving up maybe Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson, and that's not happening. So yeah, so it would have to be via a buyout. Let me go ahead and go to, I just want to try to trade to see how it affects everything. Yeah, there's a lot of issues going on there, but it does say +3 wins to the Miami Heat. If John Wall ends up going there. I just think at this point, man, there's probably some better ways to handle this. It doesn't have the updated free agents or anything like that, but if you're the Miami Heat, you don't have to trade for a point guard that costs you $44 million. I still think maybe, let's reset this trade real quick here. So we're back on the Heat. Okay, so I guess one team I would probably, even get Goran Dragic. I guess I don't know if they can get him back technically because he was traded to them last season or whatever. So I don't think that can happen. I was just get Goran Dragic back. That's a dude that we know is pretty solid and everything, and knows the team and everything like that. And then obviously you want more scoring. You can take the chance going with maybe Isaiah Thomas or something like that, man. I don't really know. A lot of different ways to look at it. But you guys let me know in the comment section below. What do y'all think about a potential, John Wall type of trade? Do you guys think it's going to happen, or is it just impossible at this point? So I did find some highlights from John Wall for the last NBA season. I didn't watch too much Houston Rockets basketball last year, so I'm just kind of curious, man. Does he still have something out there? You know what I'm saying? Because you're knocking on that jump shot. You could probably, I think this point in John Wall's career, he could kind of be a later career version of Rajon Rondo. Because Rondo kind of went through that same transition period where he was the starting point guard at times, but it just wasn't optimal. So if he can accept that 6-man type of role, but then again, when you getting paid, top 5 player money out there too, it makes things difficult. But he's still got his quickness to him and everything. And we know he's obviously got the basketball IQ. I would actually really like, especially if he's knocking down the jump shot too, man. Because that would actually be a big time for some of the lineups. You could run him out there with the Miami Heat. If you're knocking down the shot, then, playing him with Bam and Jimmy Butler, I mean, it's doable, but probably once again, not ideal. But no, I like seeing him tag the basket and everything. I mean, that was kind of a travel and a half, but it's fine. I made the highlight reel, so therefore it's not a travel. I wasn't calling a game either. Yeah, see, that's what I want for that basketball IQ. Him and that Bam connection. Or I'd even get, Omar Yurtseven out there, too, playing for the Miami Heat. Bet him and John Wall could get a good connection going, too. But, yeah, basically, he's still John Wall. You just don't need him to be John Wall for 35 minutes anymore because he's lost a little bit of a step. But, as a 6-man, I like him, man. That's all we got.